Hey guys, welcome to ANE-FreeInIty, and today I'm going to talk about brushless DC motor or BLDC motor. So, like a normal brushed motor, this doesn't have any kind of brush or commutator. That's why it's called the brushless DC motor. So, on this desk, there are 4 brushless DC motors you can see. So, like you can see here, this is A2212/10T 1400 kV or kilovolt brushless DC motor. So this motor don't have any kind of brushes like you can see here or any kind of commutator. So in this video I'm going to talk how this motor rotates and what is the function of this ESC. In my previous video I have already talked about ESC, how an electronic speed controller works. So without any further delay, let's talk. So firstly, you may be noticed, like a normal motor there is only 2 wires, but here in this case there is 3 wires. One is red, this one is red, and one is black, and another one is yellow. So like normal thing, red one is positive and black one is like negative or ground, and this yellow wire, this is the signal wire. So at first let's talk about how it looks and what is the function of this motor. So this is, you can see, this is the modem for mounting this is the propeller for mounting the propeller. So let it just put it off, and then this is the motor, and you can say this motor is rotating. If you just rotate this motor, then the outer part is the rotor and the inner part, that is the armature. You can see the copper armature, this is the stator because it is in rest position, and when we will give signal or we will give power to the motor, then the outer part, that is the rotor, will start rotating. So this is a little different from DC motor. And also you can see there are some magnets, like 15 or 16 magnets. Yeah, you can see in the rotor part or the outer portion there are like 16 magnet, and in the inner portion there is like 12 coils, the armature or the windings. So let's talk about the motor. There is a function, you can see there is something written on the motor, that is A2212/10T. this is the model number I guess, and below there is written 1400 kV or 1400 kilovolt. So what does that mean? So if we apply 1 volt in this motor, so the motor will start rotating and the RPM will be 1400. That means it will rotate 1400 times in each and every minute. So this motor is a 3S motor, that is it will rotate if we apply 3 cell, that is 11.11 or 12 volt supply, then the RPM should be 1400 into 12 approximate. So that is the meaning of this 1400 kilovolt. And there is also very interesting thing. The name of this motor is like BLDC or brushless DC motor. So after hearing the name of this motor, one obviously should think that this motor will work under DC current. But here is the tricky system. This motor works on alternating current or AC current. So, but the supply is DC. That's why we need an ESC or electronic speed controller. You can see. So what does this actually do? So this is a ESC. As I speak about ESC in my previous video, so there are some cards on the top right corner of your device. So you can check the previous video about ESC. You can gather much knowledge about electronic speed controllers, and the link will be also provided in description. So this is the input. This red wire is positive and this black one is negative or ground. I will talk about this wire later. And there is the output. These 3 wires are output. As the output is AC, so that's why there is nothing like positive or negative. And this is the base. This is 3 wires, you can see. This white one is signal, this red one is positive, and this black one is negative. And it will go to our controller. Like us, if you are making a drone, then your controller should be like CC3D flight controller or KK board, or you can use a NASA flight controller or whatever you want. So what does this ESC does? this actually does basically two things. First of all, this use PWM or pulse width modulation technique to convert this DC input to an AC output. And the second one is, for this motor, this is actually a two-phase AC motor. So we need two-phase supply, and like there is 9 resistors which actually senses the voltage per phase for this brushless DC motor and control the algorithm, that is, it controls the speed and the torque. So in this process, the brushless DC motor or BLDC works, or you can say like rotates. These all are the theoretical portion. Now let's talk about some practical portion. So like I said, this is a brushless DC motor, and this is the mount for, this is the modem for mount the propeller. So like we need to just mount this propeller, and then we need to lock it. We need to lock this quite tightly. You can use a ring or something like a bearing to just tight the screw, because it will rotate like 250 times per second. This is quite high RPS, so that's why we need some safety before giving the supply. So if you are using this inside your home for just the test, then I will recommend you to use this propeller. So like this is our ESC, and there are some, these are called the bullet connectors. These are the male bullet connectors and these are the female bullet connectors. So we'll just connect them. You can connect them as you want. So you can see. Now let's talk about this. So this is the input where you will be given supply of a 12-volt battery. It will be obviously a DC supply, and this is your base, or actually it will go to your controller, which will simply just send signal to your ESC, and then the ESC will control the speed and the torque of this motor, and you can use your system, that is a drone or a RC airplane or a glider or a helicopter, whatever you want. And also there is something you can see, this is a 30 amp ESC. There is a 30 ampere, there is 30A written. So if your motor draw more than 30 ampere, then your ESC, it will get burned. So now let's talk about the polarity. So suppose this is the way that you connect your motor with your ESC, and then you just give input here in the using a battery, and then also you connect this to your controller. And suppose your motor is rotating clockwise, and if you want to rotate it counterclockwise, then what you need to do, we need to just change the polarity. And how you can do this? By just alternating any of the two motor inputs, like this one and this one. So this one, so previously it was here, so now it give it to here, and it will give it to goes to here. Like in this way, the motor will rotate counterclockwise if it was rotating clockwise, and the same way if it was rotating counterclockwise, it will start rotating clockwise. So these are the basic things for a brushless DC motor or a BLDC motor. So if you think this video makes a little bit sense, then just like this video, and if you think this video is helpful for others, then don't forget to share this video. And also, if you want more videos like this, or you like this video, then also you can subscribe our channel. This is free.